Marissa Cooper turned her car onto Route 232, which would take her from Portsmouth to Green Harbor, 20 miles away, thinking this was the same road that she and Jonathan had taken to and from the mall 1,000 times, carting back necessities, silly luxuries, and occasional treasures. The road near which they'd found their dream house when they'd moved to Maine 7 years ago. The road they'd taken to go to their anniversary celebration last May. Tonight, though, all those memories led to one place: her life without Jonathan. The setting sun behind her, she steered through the lazy turns, hoping to lose those difficult but tenacious thoughts. Don't think about it. Look around you, she ordered herself. Look at the rugged scenery, the slabs of purple clouds hanging over the maple and oak leaves, some gold, some red as a heart. Look at the sunlight, a glowing ribbon draped along the dark pelt of hemlock and pine, at the absurd line of cows walking single file in their spontaneous day-end commute back to the barn, at the stately white spires of a small village tucked 5 miles off the highway. And look at you, a 34-year-old woman in a sprightly silver Toyota, driving fast toward a new life. A life without Jonathan. 20 minutes later, she came to Dannerville and braked for the first of the town's 2 stoplights. As her car idled, clutch in, she glanced to her right. Her heart did a little thud at what she saw. It was a store that sold boating and fishing gear. She'd noticed in the window an ad for some kind of marine engine treatment. In this part of coastal Maine, you couldn't avoid boats. They were in tourist paintings and photos, on mugs, T-shirts, and keychains. And, of course, there were thousands of the real things everywhere. Vessels in the water, on trailers, in dry docks, sitting in front yards. The New England version of pickup trucks on blocks in the rural South. But what had struck her hard was that the boat pictured in the ad she was now looking at was a Chris-craft. A big one, maybe 36 or 38 feet. Just like Jonathan's boat. Nearly identical, in fact. The same colors, the same configuration. He'd bought his 5 years ago, and though Marissa thought his interest in it would flag, like that of any boy with a new toy, he'd proved her wrong and spent nearly every weekend on the vessel, cruising up and down the coast, fishing like an old cod deckhand. Her husband would bring home the best of his catch, which she would clean and cook up. Ah, Jonathan. She swallowed hard and inhaled slowly to calm her pounding heart. A honk behind her. The stoplight had changed to green. She drove on, trying desperately to keep her mind from speculating about his death, the Chris-craft rocking unsteadily in the turbulent gray Atlantic. Jonathan overboard. His arms perhaps flailing madly, his panicked voice perhaps crying for help. Oh, Jonathan. Marissa cruised through Dannerville's second light and continued toward the coast. In front of her she could see, in the last of the sunlight, the skirt of the Atlantic, all that cold, deadly water. The water responsible for life without Jonathan. Then she told herself, no. Think about Dale instead. Dale O'Banion, the man she was about to have dinner with in Green Harbor, the first time she'd been out with a man in a long while. She'd met him through an ad in a magazine. They'd spoken on the phone a few times, and, after considerable waltzing around on both their parts, she'd felt comfortable enough to suggest meeting in person. They settled on the Fishery, a popular restaurant on the wharf. Dale had mentioned the Oceanside Cafe, which had better food, yes, but that was Jonathan's favorite place. She just couldn't meet Dale there.